Spring is my favorite time of year. For me, it feels like the real new year where you finally are coming out of your winter shell and you're ready to start looking at your garden, what you can plant for the summer. And I like to take this time to reevaluate all my frugal and zero waste habits to see what I could improve on, what has endured, and how I can approach this new season with sustainability in mind, as well as the little joys that make our everyday life that little bit better. Today I want to share with you some of my frugal and zero waste habits that I actually do in spring. This time is full of such excitement because I love planting seeds in my garden. I love growing vegetables and fruit and seeing how self-sustainable I can be, even in a small garden, growing vegetables in bags. This is also a time of experimentation and community sharing. I like to dehydrate my sourdough starter to give it to friends, do seed swaps, and I also really like to take care of my friends by making them some homemade sourdough loaves too. I like to also go through my fridge, cupboards, freezer, and make sure that all my food is getting eaten. I've been doing Project Pantry for the last year now because I hate wasting food. And spring is always a really good time to reset and make sure I'm going through everything to see what's getting eaten, what's not, and try and be a little experimental and have a little bit of fun with some new recipes that get me thinking creatively about what I could make with what I have. If you're new here, my name is Immy and I like to talk about a lot of different things: food, sustainability, frugal living, and investing in our hobbies that bring us so much joy. So if that sounds like something that might be up your street, please consider subscribing as it really helps to support my channel. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, but only if you liked it. If you haven't already, grab yourself a cup of tea and let's get into it. Although I'm not someone that uses a lot of skincare and beauty products and things like that, I still did have quite a few things in my cupboard that I thought should be used up. So for the past few months I have been doing Project Pan as well as Project Pantry. And Project Pan is about hitting the bottom of things like your beauty products, making sure that things are used up before you buy new ones. And I have been taking this exceptionally seriously. I recently finished my facial cleanser and I even cut it open to make sure I could get everything out of it. And then I found this cleanser that I had in my cupboard. And instead of buying my favorite cleanser that I love, I wanted to use what I had first. And yes, this cleanser is fine, but it's also pretty small. And I thought, do you know what? I would rather use this than have it throw away. And you never know, it might be the perfect cleanser. I'm not even sure why I have this, to be honest. But I have been slowly working through and finding the things that really work for me. But one thing I really like to do in spring, which kind of reminded me of this, is really reevaluating my progress on things that I'm doing, like Project Pan, Project Pantry. Am I reusing things in the garden? Am I making sure that food is not going to waste? For me, because it feels like such a time of renewal, it seems like the perfect opportunity to reassess everything that I kind of do. And I do this in quite a laid back way, you know? I'm a chill person. I care deeply, but I also want things to be sustainable and manageable. So going through things in my cupboard and making sure I am using things. I actually cannot remember the last time that I bought a beauty item. I'm getting to the point where my powder makeup has almost finished. And I think instead, going forward, I'm gonna replace those with cream. What would you call them? Wet products, cream products, because as I get older my skin definitely appreciates cream things like blusher and stuff like that rather than powder. So that's just something also as I'm getting older, just thinking about how can I replace products once they are finished with new things without buying stuff that I don't like. What's a good way of testing things to make sure that it's the right thing before buying stuff and moving forward. So a more sustainable swap I made a couple years ago was to the Surrey toothbrush. I've been using it for 2 years, but they are sponsoring this portion of today's video. And I ended up switching because my old toothbrush, it died after only a few years. It was really messy and I found it very difficult to travel with and keep it nice and hygienic. So the fact that I already use this, I was very excited to partner with them for the Surrey 2.0. I travel a lot. I go camping, I go back to the UK to visit my family, and I go to Michigan to visit my husband's family and my friends in California. So being able to travel with my toothbrush in a way that's nice and hygienic and convenient and very lightweight is so helpful. And the travel case that also comes with the Surrey has UV cleaning inside. Other than the fact that it just simply looks nice and is convenient, it's dentist approved, it has a 1 month long battery life, and has over 4,000 5-star reviews, which says a lot. They have innovative plant-based heads which Surrey will recycle for free, which is great. We love to see some accountability throughout the whole cycle of production. And they also have a 100-day money-back guarantee just in case. So if you're interested in trying Surrey for yourself or for you and a partner, you already save save 10% with their Brush Together bundle, but if you use my code Immy, all capitals, then you can get an additional 5% off. All you have to do is click the link in the description below. Spring is very much a time where I really start to take care of my things, like my sourdough starter. Unfortunately, I did let it die recently. But I practiced, or I experimented with dehydrating my starter a few months ago, and I tried to rehydrate it and I was able to bring it back to life. So just in case my starter decides to react quite badly to being neglected, I'm actually re-dehydrating some of it right now. And all I do to dehydrate it is I literally feed it loads and I wait until it has really bubbled up and come to the top and it's just about to start deflating. Then I spread it out on a sheet. You can do it on a piece of baking paper or whatever you have. And I actually have a dehydrator because I like to make my own backpacking meals. You could probably even just put it in your oven with it off, obviously, and then just leave it for a few days to dry out. Mine has just finished drying in my dehydrator, so I'm gonna blend it up and put it into a airtight container. I was very surprised that it actually worked, but this is one of the healthiest starters that I have had, and I have also been adding some rye flour to it because that has been helpful too. So my starter is ready. I'm gonna blend it up or blitz it up into a nice fine powder, although I did discover that you don't need to do that. I blitzed it up as much as I could, but there were still chunks. Still worked a treat. Spring is also very much a time for me to be experimental, to try new recipes, and especially for the past couple of weeks I have been trying so many new tofu recipes. I also tried making rye bread this week, and I am currently trying to make some soy yogurt in the Instant Pot. I have tried making soy yogurt in the past and it worked when I made the soy milk myself, but it didn't work when I made it with store-bought soy milk, so I'm just still experimenting, and I might also try with some coconut yogurt as well. I'm just boiling the milk right now and then I'll add some starter to it and we'll see what happens. One of my absolute favorite parts of spring is getting out all of my seeds and seeing what I can plant this year. Things that I need to get because I always plant all of my cherry tomatoes that I buy, and the sun golds as well. Sun golds are quite expensive, so I really take very good care of those seeds whenever I plant those. And I do always end up planting every seed that I buy of those because they don't come with very many in them. So I have this little box of seeds. Some will inevitably be old, so I always plant a few more than I expect will do well. A couple of things I will always plant are things like herbs, like basil, because they are often pretty expensive, and especially things like basil, I could never find them in plastic-free packaging just like on their own like you can with things like coriander and dill and other things like that. Plus I use so much basil throughout the whole summer, so I always like to plant at least 4 or 5 different plants, and then I put them in different areas. So I'll keep some inside, I'll put some in maybe a bit more shaded spots, and then some in a bit more sunny spots, and I'll see how well they're doing, kind of like as a bit of an experiment. And I will also put some of those with my tomato plants because they kind of distract bugs and things like that, but I don't have too big of an issue with bugs. I think I did get some crazy caterpillars last year, and he loved to eat my plants. Well, he liked to eat my chili plants, but then one day he just disappeared, and I wonder if a bird came and got him. But I have started to have a bit more luck with nasturtiums. Still not as much as I would like. I am getting better with it every year, so I always like to plant those. I really love the leaves. They taste really nice because you can eat them, and I also really like the flowers. The flowers are very pretty and it just adds a bit more color to the garden. So I'm going to go through these and I'm going to make a plan this year. I'm going to note down the timing of when I actually plant my seeds because I don't really tend to do that. I can plant quite a few things in the garden because I have quite a lot of bags, but this is a rental property. We can't really build any vegetable beds or anything like that, so it is surprising how much you can grow in bags, but obviously it's not ideal. But this is all practice for when I do eventually have a big garden and I can grow as much as possible. One thing I didn't grow last year was this corn that I bought, because a lot of people said that corn need a lot of space. They're not very space efficient. I didn't really buy them for that. I bought them because I just thought they'd be a bit fun. So this year I think I will give those a try, because why not? I'm going to go through these and I'm going to set up a little timeline, and the weather's been different this year, so I'm going to look at some local advice on when to start planting seeds. But I did have some very good luck with my tomatoes by planting them much earlier, or at least starting my seeds much earlier last year. And of course I'm going to grow lots of flowers. I think maybe we'll also go to a local nursery and get some compost today. I always like to support local nurseries because their compost is always a much higher quality and you can get organic. And also it's 2026, I'm going to be supporting local, full stop. I have a friend who has just had a baby, so I'm going to make them some sourdough bread. Sourdough seems to be one of those things that really helps me to connect with my friends and community, and I'm trying really hard to be a villager. I really want to create my own village here, and definitely helping people and making things and using the skills that I have to help people has been one of those things that's really helped me to just become closer to some of the people that I've become very good friends with here. I also find that this time of year I tend to start preparing things that I want to use throughout the rest of the year. Like, I finished my preserved lemons recently, so I'm going to make some more preserved lemons because I know in the summer I have a lot of recipes that I love making that have preserved lemons in them. I also made some kimchi the other day. I don't know why, I just find it funny that I preserve a lot of things at this time of year, but it's because I'm always thinking about the recipes I'm so excited to make in the late spring and summer, and preserved lemons are definitely up there. So I'm going to prepare some bread and I'm going to prepare those lemons, or I'm going to salt them today to prepare them tomorrow. Now, some of you might be wondering, what does trying to be a villager have to do with living sustainably or trying to live as frugally as you can? Well, I'd argue that it's actually incredibly important and one of the most important aspects of this way of living. When you're trying to be a villager and you're really trying to build that community, then suddenly it becomes so much easier to share resources, whether that's a sourdough starter, childcare, sharing outfits to go to occasions. You might be ride sharing or simply sharing tools with one another to fix your bike so that you can go on that long ride that you wanted to. I think that this is how we create that circular economy and how we help each other do the things we want to do without having to spend all of our money outsourcing. I absolutely love sharing the resources that I have, and I never expect anything in return. But when you're creating a village and you're creating a community of like-minded people, it's just inevitable that people are going to want to return the favor. My friends are always offering to ride share when we go climbing somewhere. It just makes more sense, but it's also an incredibly kind gesture. So this year my biggest goal is to become a better villager. I want to create a tight-knit community where we share resources and we can really learn to rely on one another. For me, this is one of the best ways to live more sustainably and to live frugally in a way that really helps to support everyone. Of course, becoming a villager is not something that is strictly about spring, but I think once we come out of our winter shells, then we're much more likely to want to be more sociable and put ourselves out there when the weather is getting warmer. Recently, I started a knit club, and we've been meeting up on a Sunday at a local coffee shop. There's a big space there where we can all sit and chat about the projects that we're working on. But I also had quite a few extra crochet hooks that I just was not going to be using, so I ended up giving them to the people who wanted them there. And it kind of sparked this idea of maybe I should do a yarn swap or a tool swap with everyone. And again, this is a really great way of creating a community and sharing resources, especially when things are expensive and people might have too much. Then it's a great way for you to declutter those things whilst also giving back to your community so that they can use them as well. So my goal is to be a better villager. I also want to give a shout out to my friend Sarah because she gave me one of her kombucha scobies, and now I can start that process of experimenting with making my own kombucha. And that is what is so special about community and sharing resources. I can't tell you how many people have a part of my sourdough starter, and it's so exciting to see all the bread that they've been making with it. So if you do one thing this year, I really implore you to join a local meetup group, start becoming a villager and creating a community where you can share and help one another just to be a little bit more sustainable and get a lot more use out of our things. Okay, I hope you have a lovely weekend and I will see you in the next video. And if you saw my tofu recipes earlier and you thought, I really want to watch that whole video, it will be on the screen now.